Sorry, I wasn't ready then. I'm never ready when this thing happens. I just want to say hello and welcome to another edition of the Spooky Show tonight. As you can see, we've got no Dan tonight. So Eric has agreed to join me and help co-present as we delve into Wayne's World tonight. So there'll be no swing, there'll be none of that. It will be paranormal talk. All things spooky and UFO-y and cryptidy, maybe.
Possibly.
Eric, no swinging. No swing tonight, okay. People that are fans of Wayne's World will know what I mean by swing. But anyway, we digress. So how are you, Wayne? How are you doing?
Better than I have been. I've had recently I've had a few shocks with both my oldest son being diagnosed with mild rheumatoid arthritis, and he was facing the possibility that he may have to have a full hip replacement. But luckily they have discovered that it's not as bad and they should be able to treat it with medication. So we sort of got off lightly on that one. And then I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea. I actually stopped breathing about 16 times a night. And so I had to have all the tests done for that, and they've confirmed that there is something there, but they need to do further tests before they can give a diagnosis. And then obviously the gout came back again, so I'm back on the good old cherry juice, which I don't mind.
Hi, William.
You will.
But other than that, things have been going well. We're almost towards the end of the season for Truth Beyond Paranormal. We're out filming our last episode of the year a week Saturday. That's a rather great location that was on my bucket list for a long time and may cause a bit of a stir, especially if you go live with it. It might upset a few people in the higher up world of TV. So
well, let them get on with it.
It'll be quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to doing it. But also at the same time, we're starting to Spookanori Events has been around for coming up to a year now, and we've been sort of sitting around in the background looking for locations that are reasonably priced, so that guests would want to come along without burning a hole through their pockets or their bank accounts.
Yeah.
And we finally found a few, and I have one that I've been given the opportunity to investigate whenever we want. There's no limit. So we can go there whenever we like, and they'll just open it all up and we can just go in and have a really good evening. And I'm going to be doing a private investigation with a few people in a couple of weeks' time, just to test the water and see how it will work for when we go public. So I'm really looking forward to doing that one. And then
can I just say, everybody, can we all send some healing and some love to Irene? She's not very well, and she's struggling to get through the night. So big hugs, lots of prayers. Get well soon, my Japanese gorgeous lady. We want you to be well. So get well soon, Irene.
Please.
Sorry, I had to do that because she's important. We love Irene.
So yeah, things have they took a bit of a down dip, but now they're sort of somehow somewhere along the line they've managed to catch a ride on a SpaceX rocket or something and just gone into the stratosphere, because things have turned in the right direction and really quickly.
Shall I make you jealous now?
Go on.
I'm going to see not your significant other half as in your partner Ellen, but your other significant other half, which is Mr. Manley.
Again. You're making a habit of this.
I'm going to see him on Saturday. I'll be going up to his neck of the woods
Oh.
bye, we're going to hook up, and yeah, I'll tell him that you miss him and you love him. Don't worry.
Oh, I've missed him since Sunday. He popped in on his way home on Sunday. He went down to his daughter's wedding, and he came in on the way home, and sat down here for a couple of hours, and we had a chat about things and so on. So that was nice to see him and Rachel again. So it's the problem when he's up in Scarborough and I'm here in Essex.
Yeah.
You know, it's trying to do things as a team, and the Dark Mirror radio show, for some unknown reason, has still managed to work, even though there's this distance. And it's
tell people who don't know who Mark Manley is, who he is, and what he is to you.
Now, Mark Manley, I've known Mark for a number of years now. Originally, it was on the ghost hunting circuit. We were out paranormal investigating, and I used to go out with the team that he was with. And me and Mark got on like a house on fire, something chronic. And it was a couple of years ago, Mark approached me and asked if I'd like to jump on board with him and co-host the Dark Mirror radio show.
Yeah.
And I've always been into all aspects of the paranormal, not just ghost hunting itself, but cryptozoology and ufology as well. And I think ufology has been more of a grip to me than ghosts.
Yeah.
I've been more intrigued by things like that, to the point, and this is a live confession. When I was about 5 or 6, I painted some logos, motifs. I wrote something in white paint on my outside of my bedroom wall, on the outside of that house. And now, 43 years later, it's still there.
Wow.
How is it?
No one got rid of it. No one knows what it means. But to me, it meant something when I put it on there.
Yeah.
But when I look at things like the so-called hieroglyphics that were on the side of the UFO that landed at Rendlesham, there's a very big similarity between them and what I drew on the wall.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Bearing in mind, it was 1980 when I wrote these things on the wall. Very similar time to the Rendlesham Forest incidents and the Bentwaters incidents. So I look at them now and I think to myself, blimey, did I see this coming? Because they're there.
Would Chief Beyond Paranormal, would they do more of the UFO side of things, do you think? Will they get more involved in that at some point?
We would. Had there been more sort of locations, that high profile locations of UFO landings. I mean, we went to Rendlesham Forest and we had Mark come with us. So it was a Truth Beyond Paranormal Dark Mirror radio show cooperation.
Yeah.
So, and while we were there, we actually witnessed 6 unidentified aerial phenomena. Did not show up on any of the airline flight apps, satellite, Starlink, nothing. And Mark even took a photo of this big black triangle that we saw.
Oh,
now, it was right above us in the clearing where the UFO first came down before it moved on to the farmer's field. And we just staring up at it, gobsmacked. We couldn't believe what we were seeing, but we knew it was something there because you couldn't see any stars. You could see the actual triangle.
Yeah.
And there were no stars within the triangle itself, and you could see the lights for each point. And Mark took about 3 or 4 photos of it. We were standing there going, I can't believe this. And then when we looked back up again, it had gone.
Oh.
Straight after that, 2 F-15s from RAF Lakenheath came screeching over from the west, which is where they were located, where the base is located.
Yeah.
Straight off to the east, to the direction where we'd seen some UFOs going earlier on in the evening. And, you know, we reported this to David Young. We told David Young about it. We've shown him the photo. And it's quite possible that Jim Penniston, who witnessed the Rendlesham incident, he was the guy that actually touched the UFO.
Yeah.
Some of the information has now gone on to him because there are still things going on there.
Yeah, there still is. There still is.
It's an amazing, it's an amazing location, and the story behind it is amazing as well. But everybody talks about the actual landing and the fact of what they saw, but no one really talks about the code that Jim Penniston got when he touched the UFO. And apparently it has been deciphered.
Has it?
No one could figure out what it was, and it's been more recently that they've looked at an algorithm that can decipher it, and apparently the beings that came down are from the year 8100.
Wow.
What? Wow.
They are us. They haven't come from another planet. They come from here in the first place.
That's really interesting, because you'll see what I've got here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Wiggly.
So what this is, and I actually bought it tongue in cheek, and I said, "Oh, what's that?" And they said, "Oh, there's a little," and they've done it ever so nice. I don't know if you can see this.
Huh.
So it is the talks and the lectures. I've got Eric von Daniken on this, and a few other big names that all talk about this UFO phenomena and the landings and other secrets that people don't want you to know about. And I bought this just as a last minute. Oh, I've got some money to spend. I'll get this, but I've not actually watched it yet.
Wow.
And of course, I have a gentleman that I co-host with normally called Mr. Winter. Get well soon, Mr. Winter. That wants to see this as soon as I've watched it, because I'm quite interested in what's being said, because as you know, Wayne, I have some theories and things like that. I've just started on my UFO journey, but I'm finding, talking to the people that I met at the Awakening Con and to other people in the field. Bless you. Shooting you.
My cat. It's my cat. She's decided to eat chicken tikka.
So the UFO thing, the cryptid thing, and the ghost thing, there may be more to it than we all realised, and it's only now, and it's the UFO side that are making these connections quicker than anybody else. Yeah. And if you speak to the right people, they will give you their theories. They don't ram them down your throat or anything like that, which is what I find is really nice and refreshing. And they give you the tools to go and do your own research.
Yeah, I mean, we posted a video onto the Dark Mirror Radio show this morning of a guy who confessed to being one of the sort of the first generation of the Men in Black.
I saw that.
Oh, right, yeah.
And this was done. He died in 1989.
Right.
But he was coming out with so many things, and you can clearly see that this video had date to it. It wasn't, you can look at a video and go, yeah, that's been superimposed onto this, and they've added this bit. But you could see the age of the video, the clothes, the grain of the picture. There was a lot there that said, that's screaming 80s. And this guy was coming out with some amazing stuff, like how they wiped the minds of the people that had witnessed aliens or UFOs, how they manipulated their way of thinking, including the guys that were going around saying that's not what you saw. They were also being brainwashed as well. Yeah. And they were actually able to, the powers that be were able to make them forget that they just killed somebody. And they would kill some of these people, people that were sort of maybe a bit higher profile and could have actually released the information of what they'd seen. They didn't just go, oh, we'll wipe your memory, look into this light and ding. They didn't do all of that. They just downright killed them straight away, disposed of the bodies, and that was it. But then the person that did the killing had his mind wiped. So he couldn't even remember that he'd killed that person.
Yeah.
Robert's got a question. Why would a UFO have lights or need lights to do? Need lights? Do aliens see what we see, or see light in a different spectrum from us? How would we know?
Well, this is the bigger issue, isn't it? Is because we don't know why they're there. It could be the fact that there's some sort of, I don't know, agreement between the alien grey and the governments of the world saying, you know, if you're going to fly in our airspace, you need to put lights on it.
Yeah, that,
you know,
function system.
It's, you know, it's difficult. It's a very good question, but it is difficult. But it's, you know.
What do you think about these alien, the actual alien, not the ships, the alien encounters? Because recently there's a thing that's been released on Netflix called Encounters. And it's interesting that they go into how alien encounters happened at schools. There was one in Wales. You have to watch this. It's just a brilliant series. And then there was one that they profiled, which was in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, where children encountered alien beings. They saw the craft, then encountered the alien, but what the alien actually did, and they described this alien, too many children were saying the same thing for it to be mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Two girls stood not even 6 foot away from an alien. Now, they described it like you would imagine a grey, but they said it was black.
Wow.
And it spoke to them in a way that they could understand. And it talked about the Earth, how we're killing the planet.
Yeah.
Right? These children, these innocent children, were all drawing pictures of the same thing that they saw. And one guy tried to call him out, saying that it was all fake. I said it was.
He said it was him that was doing it, wasn't he? He said I was the one that was responsible for all that, and that it was mass hysteria. And I'm sitting there thinking, but if all the children are saying the same thing, even the headmistress or one of the teachers, wasn't it? She even said the same thing.
She touched the rim, didn't she? Or she
a level-headed person has actually seen the UFO, has seen the being that came from out of it, and so this guy is calling her out as well. You know, and all those children. It is a brilliant series. It was just a shame there wasn't more episodes.
But it goes to show you that it's happening not just in the States, it's all over the world.
All over the world.
In Africa, Wales of all places. And the encounters that people were having there. Is it near Haverfordwest or something? There's an air base near there, isn't there? And it was,
But, I mean, they are saying that a lot of these things are happening where there are military installations or military bases. And so they ask, is there some sort of conspiracy going on there that we're not made aware of because of where the sightings are located? But when you then start linking, and that's why me and Mark love doing what we do, because when we start looking into things and we're like, well, then you get a bizarre twist with like the UFO phenomena in conjunction with pyramids.
Yeah.
Where the ley lines are crossing, how the pyramids themselves have been built in places that correspond with star constellations.
Yeah.
And how if you actually wind back the star maps to the dates the pyramids were built, they're in perfect line.
So if governments know about these aliens, where does God fit into this plan?
I think God was here.
What was you going to say, Eric? Who's God?
I think God is an alien. I mean, think about it. If I could heal somebody without even touching them, without any, electronics to like start their heart or stuff like that, then I'd be considered a god way back then when they came up with the idea.
What are your thoughts, Wayne?
Right. Me and Mark have talked about this a number of times, and I think, if I remember rightly, we even got muted by some unknown source because we were actually mentioning.
Oh, jeez.
I still have it. Bless her. All
We were
right,
actually,
Helen.
Take 'em out.
Aspirin, please. We were actually mentioning all of this business with the governments in conjunction with an alien race, and all of a sudden our chat got muted. No one could
Really?
post a comment or anything, and we just said, "That's it." We came off. We came back on again. Same thing. Couldn't get no chats, so we just carried on without it. But we'd mentioned quite a lot and went into depth that when you go back through history has a timeline. And if you look at near enough every single religion in the world that has ever possibly been, they all roughly share the same timeline.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what religion it is, they're near enough the same timeline. When you look back and you go right the way back, way past the advent of Jesus,
It's gorgeous.
you've got not just one God, but many gods.
Yeah.
And they all get converged into one. Then you ask questions like, why have things like books of the Bible been removed? Like the book of Magdalene, Mary Magdalene, why is that removed? The book of Enoch, why was that removed? Enoch lived to be 350 years old and ascended to the heavens in a golden chariot.
Yeah.
He didn't die. He ascended. He got in a craft and went into the sky. That was removed. And then along comes James the First and demands that the Bible gets altered to include witches and witchcraft.
Yeah.
So then comes the James the First Bible. Well, I'm sorry, but if they are holy scriptures, they should never be altered. They shouldn't be altered. It should be illegal to alter it.
You could even take it even further still, because if you look at the ancient civilizations, they talk about their gods. Oh, look at that cat, gorgeous.
Yep.
And they talk about the things or the deities that they were worshipping. And I know some of the Aztecs symbolize this serpent or snake that came from the sea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would immediately jump to thinking, oh, that's something evil. But a serpent or this being or this snake, whatever you want to call it, that come from the sea, we're learning more about these, what would you call them? The unidentified flying objects that are straight into the sea.
Yeah, the submersible. Submersible objects.
So there's got to be more going on that we can't comprehend, and but they gave them things like the tools to engineer certain things,
Yeah, and when you look at human beings for the time that we've been around, our leaps in technology and knowledge have leaped. They've gone along at a steady pace, then all of a sudden there's been a huge jump.
Yep.
And then it's gone plodding along again, and then there's been another huge jump. And it is literally something has happened that has changed our way of thinking, and that's enabled us to develop further in our evolution.
Well,
And it's got us on to the next stage.
Do you realize too that it happens to be like almost every 10 years that happens too?
This jump, this like glitch.
Jumped like really, really high. Like look at the old cell phones, and 10 years later, all of a sudden you got these really fancy computer cell phones. And
here's a question then to both of you. Do you think that we're getting more encounters and more interactions because these beings, deities, whatever you want to call them, they're not worried about us? They're worried about the earth for themselves, and what they've given us has now backfired, where we're jumping ahead. We've not learning anything. We're just grab, and they're trying to slow it down. Because we're destroying the earth, and there's no two ways about it. But do you think this is selfish for them, the aliens or the beings, whatever they are? They're now becoming more prevalent because they want to stop us, because it's backfiring for them.
Yeah, I think they're the landlords. We're just the tenants.
Mm.
The video that I posted on the Dark Mirror radio show thing this morning, the bloke actually says on there that there was a deal struck with these beings that they were only going to take so many people a year. But now they're taking more. And they're doing all sorts of weird experiments on them, some of them without anesthesia, and they're plopping them back into society again. And they reckon that his commanding officer was a hybrid, a cross between a human and one of these alien beings.
Believe it.
You know, and this guy has sworn, you know, that what he is telling is the truth. And the only reason why he came forward was because he was dying of cancer.
Oh, wow.
He knew he was going to die. There was nothing the governments could do to stop him because he was going to die anyway. He'd been warned by the governments that if he opened his mouth and said anything, they would take him out. But now he's got to a point where, well, I'm sorry, but it's terminal. I'm going anyway. I'm coming out with it.
Yeah. Rob says, look at COVID, the Black Death. Aliens may be culling the population. Do you think that they put it there?
Right. Anybody that wants to know, go onto the Dark Mirror radio show and have a look at the clip of a video of a guy being interviewed back in the 80s. He even explains on this clip about COVID and such viruses being introduced into the world. And it's sort of like when you watch the whole thing from beginning to end, you all of a sudden go, whoa, hang on a minute, that happened. And as I said to Mark this morning, the thing is, when you look at it, could this been done on purpose? Because when you look at the statistics, America has the biggest economy, followed by China. Then it's Germany, then Japan, then India, and then comes us, the UK. Now, the rumours and the conspiracy was that it was the Americans that developed the COVID virus and released it in China. If you want to stay the top economy, what better way to scramble the economy below you to stop them from overtaking you? And if you look at China and how their economy has been going, it was going to overtake America. You don't want to lose that top spot. So accidentally release something over there to try and spoil their economy. You know, it screams conspiracy, but at the same time, when you look at the evidence that's out there, there is some truth in it, and it does make sense.
Yeah. But we won't know. We'll never know. Not in our lifetime.
We probably won't. Right, I'm going to have to pop off because I have to go and pick
thank you for joining us.
My two eldest. But I can, if I'm back in time, I can come back on.
Okay.
I could pop back in. I shouldn't be gone long.
If we're not around, we will get both you and Mark back on the show together and have a what do you call it? A Dark Mirror, simply a spooky extravaganza at some point. So.
Yeah, I shouldn't be too long. I just got to pick them up from their mums, and then I'll be.
Don't drive too fast.
No, I won't drive. I've got the helicopter parked in the garden.
Oh, we'll see you in a bit.
I'll see you in a moment. Bye.
That's interesting, though. What do you think about that?
Well, I love that whole theory behind it. And you even go back to it. I listen to a lot of old-time radio shows, and a lot of them go back about aliens. This one show I listened to, the aliens come from the future, or they time travel constantly. And that's the only way they know how to travel.
Wow. Yeah. That's interesting. It's really interesting. There's lots and lots of theories out there.
Yeah.
Sarah says that's why the vaccine was released soon, quickly.
I believe it.
But the thing is, like, they had SARS just before, and Ebola. Ebola's gone very quiet, but it's not gone away. It's still there.
No, there's still the Black Death.
They're not just not talking about it anymore, are they?
Mm-hmm.
And even things like, mad cow's disease. Do you remember when that hit the press?
Yeah.
And that was going around. But nobody mentioned scrapie. They don't even know what scrapie is. If you say, have you heard of scrapie? They'll go, what are you talking about? And it's the sheep version of mad cow's disease that's always been there. That's not gone away, but we didn't cull all those sheep, So the world it's a crazy world we live in. It really is.
It is. It's going to get crazier.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah. I think I have, like I said before, I'm not that psychic, but I know when things are going to change, I really, really think that it's going to get crazier.
Do you think that with global warming that everyone keeps talking about, and the ice caps are melting, and they're now showing signs of land, and there's all that archaeology under that ice, and lots of things are going to be revealed? But do you think it's a case of where it's hot's going to get cold and where it's cold's going to get hot? We're going to have a complete reversal. I know at the moment we're going through fires and floods and all sorts of silly
I have
things.
no idea what happens with weather when it goes like that because I haven't lived through it. But, we could end up going into another ice age in a few years for all I know,
Yeah. But Sarah says, thanks to Brexit, the UK is more at risk of animal diseases coming in because they are not doing the checks at the ports. Spot on, Sarah. And also, like rabies. Rabies is unheard of in this country.
Really?
Wow. Watch what happens.
Yeah. Well, you guys just, the bird flu last year, so.
Oh, it's still going this year. I live in a bird flu zone. I get letters from our local council telling you to keep your chickens and everything in coops. You're not allowed to let them out and things like that. And yeah, it's a crazy time around here. It's still going on. All those turkeys that used to, and the turkey farms local, have to be kept housed now. And there was going to be a shortage of turkeys at Christmas.
Oh, wow.
All that sort of thing. It's I don't know. I just think that the human race is very ill prepared. Very ill prepared. You're saying about the vaccine came out fast because the delivery method had been under development for 20 years. Yes, this wasn't a new thing. It started as a possible way to fight cancer. Yeah. The vaccines, to be honest, they were because COVID's not something new. COVID's been around for a very long time, but like the flu, it mutates and regenerates, and new strains are coming out all the time, and it's constantly evolving, like the flu. But yeah. Anyway, we digress. Britain better not go to war with anyone. We only spend 2.3% GDP on defence. We have no defence. That's just the thing.
But you do have a lot of allies, though. So,
well, what does Great Britain have? We have
you have America, which is the strongest superpower in the world right now. You have Germany. Yeah, you have quite a few. I know Canada is part of that too. So,
yeah. Thing is, we don't want wars full stop. Don't want them. We could do without them because we've got another world war that's going on right now, which I don't know. This is just a theory that I have. I know Dan has the same stance as me, but I told him that we're at war now, all of us, and it is a spiritual war. Whether we believe it or not, with what's going on around us, and the more ghost sightings, UFO sightings, cryptid sightings are on the rise as well. Something is going on that people don't really realise, and I think this is all to do with this spiritual war.
Yeah, I think so.
And this is the big thing that, we said, oh, something's coming, it's really big, but we don't know what it is. I feel it's coming. It's going to make us sit up and listen. I think this is what it is. We're only just at the tip of it. It's only just started, and I think it's going to get a lot worse. But let's wait and see. I could be wrong. So, one sub and a strong letter. That's what our defence is at the minute.
Yeah.
Right, Sarah, I wanted to warn people about Brexit.
Mm.
Oh, thanks, Nicola. Yeah, so it's interesting. The UFO thing, I think, is fascinating, but at the same time, it frightens the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if something as powerful as that is standing in front of you and you have no control, you have no control over your thoughts, what you do, how you act, you know, that would frighten me
Yeah.
beyond belief. I'll see you
Yeah.
later, William. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, so that would frighten me. Now, when you watch this thing called Encounters and you talk, these people that witnessed it, the witnesses are talking about it all these years later, and very brave, very, very brave people to do that. But when they explain what happened to them, how they got the messages, what they felt, what they saw, they describe everything. It sent a shiver down my spine. The fact that they stood there, got 6 foot away with it, and had that communication and didn't run.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, what? How do you know it was going to attack you? How do you know it was going to kill you? You know, like if you stood in front of a lion and you saw the heckles go and the mannerisms change with something completely different with that lion, you wouldn't stand there, would you? You'd be gone. You'd be gone as quick as you could to try and save yourself. But yeah, no, I think it's an amazing subject and very fascinating at the same time. As I say, I don't know anything. I'm one of these people that's just asking the questions, you know, to people that have been looking at it for many years. Over in the States, you've got all the military side of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On top of, and more people are coming out and talking about it. I was fascinated to find out over here when I mentioned this Awakening Con.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance, guys, in the chat to go, I would recommend it. But this was from this year.
Oh, wow.
And this is their lovely glossy program that they put out. But you'll notice this man here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this man here is an actor.
Right.
He is a TV actor,
Mm-hmm.
best known for playing, I think, is it Rimmer in Lister in Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay.
So that's him without his dreadlocks. But he also talks about the UFO phenomena and the experiences that he had. Now, these people in the mainstream like that, I mean, Red Dwarf is a global smash hit sci-fi. Craig Charles, that's his name. Yeah. He's known for a lot of things. He's done a lot of sitcoms. He's been in Coronation Street of all things. Red Dwarf. I'm just trying to find. He even wrote an article. There is an article in here somewhere. But he actually was at this thing, and he actually did speak about his experiences and what he felt and what he knows and what he saw. And so this is somebody that's come out into the forefront and is not scared to talk about it, because it does have a stigmatism, doesn't it?
Mm.
I saw a UFO and I saw an alien. People would think you're crazy, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But nowadays, since the government said, hey, there's aliens, maybe not so much now.
So if they're admitting that there is aliens, there's also mermaids, there's also Bigfoot, there is also the Loch Ness Monster, there is also Dogman. There's everything out there that we were told does not exist.
Yep.
If they're turning around and saying no, aliens do exist, then you can sure as hell believe that everything else does exist as well.
I don't know. Well, there is one thing that I saw, speaking about Rita just saying unicorns, that on Paranormal Caught on Camera, which is a really good show, I think, by the way, is the guy is filming in England a unicorn from his window out in the field by other horses. Well, you'd think that a unicorn in itself, if you don't go on a mythological aspect of it, I wonder if horses had horns at one time. It's just the bone.
Yeah. Yeah. He got 2 aircraft carriers and no planes to put on them. I love that. Robert says we're in a time slip. We only been on time 9 minutes.
Yeah, I must have something wrong with this time on this.
If you was able to get in a time machine, how far would you go back in time? Or would you go back? Would you go forward? And why would you go to that place?
I would go forward because if you go back, you're not going back on your own timeline. You're going back on an alternate timeline.
I'd like to go back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily go forward. I would go back. And I'd like to go back to maybe the start of the Grand National when they started running these horses on the Grand National.
Mm-hmm.
And I would bet all my money on the winning horses. I would bet the arse out on the Grand National. I mean, people say, "Oh, Grand National, that's a horrible race. That's this, that's that." I grew up with the Grand National, and every year I put a bet on. I have done since I was 7 years old. Well, you know, my nan used to put a pound on for me, and I'd choose the horse, and that, you know, that would go on. So I would do that, and I would make my millions pretty quickly and bring it back with me to my time that I'm living in now.
Yeah, but there
That's
goes
what I do.
go back in time. You're not going back on your own timeline. So
So to not bring the money back with me.
no, you couldn't bring the money back with you. In fact, you're betting for somebody totally different.
Damn.
That's how you get around the grandfather paradox. Is you're going back on somebody else's timeline.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. If I was going back then, if I had to go back and I couldn't bet and make money myself, it would be good to go back to some very, like a notable time period, like, I don't know, the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah, that'd be
Titanic. Whether I died or not would be neither here nor there, but I'd get on the Titanic and travel on the Titanic, or I'd want to go and see the dinosaurs. Or, you know, the Victorian era in London, Victorian London, England.
I
It'd
love
be
it.
a hard time. What about you?
I loved everything about the Victorian era. I don't know why. Yeah.
I don't know. I think, you know, people think it was all glamorous and everything. I don't think it was.
It wasn't glamorous, but it was a different time. And okay, I know he's not a real person, but I grew up watching all the old Sherlock Holmes, and that was right before that, you know, where they started the first vehicle and everything else.
So let's talk about the guy that wrote the Sherlock Holmes series. His name was, oh God, what was his name?
Arthur Conan Doyle.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out in Norfolk, not far from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And there he stayed with some friends, and he heard of the tale or the legend of the black shark. The black shark has been seen in my area and around surrounding areas, and there is a myth that it is the devil's dog, and it has some piercing bright red eyes, and if you run into the black shark and he looks at you, you will die, basically.
Yeah.
So in this particular place in Norfolk, somebody caught a glimpse of the black shark and ran and took refuge in a church, thinking, if I go into this church, if this thing is evil, it will not follow me into a house of God. He ran into the church and shut the door behind him. And the black shark apparently chased him up the church pathway to the door and scratched, and, you know, at the church, at this particular church. And to this day, you can go to that church and see the scratches and the indentations on the door that this shark apparently made. Now, so Arthur Conan Doyle was staying not too far, heard about this legend, obviously had seen must have seen the church door,
Yeah.
and wrote, and there and then he went back and he wrote the Hounds of the Baskervilles. That's where that story come from. It's based on the story about the black shark.
Yeah,
which I thought was fantastic.
it's awesome. In fact, it's a place I wouldn't mind seeing myself too when I get over there.
I'll take you there. And he
Cool.
also was at the College of Psychic Studies. So Arthur Conan Doyle was very much involved in that and into his paranormal as well. Not a lot of people know about that either.
No, I don't think a lot of people know too that he solved 2 crimes. It was 2 or 3 murders in his time when he was alive himself.
Yeah. Very, very clever man.
Mm.
Very, very clever man. I say a man a few words. He wrote bloody books. Do you know what I mean? Oh, excuse me. I'm burping away here. It's the tea's repeating on myself. I don't think we'll be here in 20 years the way the world is going. Oh, no, I won't be. I'll be dead because I drink and I smoke and do all things wrong. I've discovered alcohol just recently. It's great stuff, isn't it?
Hold on. Not Robert, but I told Charles that I'm going to live to 103 years old.
You are?
Yep.
Oh, I wouldn't want to. Bless her. Hi, Nettie. How you doing, my lovely? Hope you're keeping well. As you can see, Dan's not here to sing to you, I'm afraid. He's not very well himself, bless him. But we are planning some Halloween delights. So don't forget, on Halloween we will be live on the Things Network, and we will be doing our own experiments live in full Halloween costume and makeup. So
I hope he's feeling better before his show on Thursday, but
we'll see what happens. Poor old Danny. He's had a really rough time of things.
Yeah.
Mind you, didn't give me any sympathy when I went down with COVID. He didn't care really, to be honest. But I am pleased to say that I will be bringing out Boris. I'm calling him Boris. That's a good name for him. Boris is going to have his very first outing.
See, this is the new one.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's not a cat ball. Look at the size of it.
No, this is a REM pod ball. In honor of Grizzly.
A REM pod ball. You need to do 2 balls stuck together.
I could do that too. I got another one.
You gotta be careful.
That's rude, 2 balls stuck together. I was being facetious. Poor Grizzly. He'll kill me, he will.
Yeah. He accidentally called it a REM ball last time.
Ball.
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, REM ball. I go, that's a great idea, Grizzly.
You should bark at them and get them made and shipped out and sold.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I think Dan received his skull today, and he was that impressed with it. He said that he'd be your UK stockist.
There you go. Yeah, those are like hers too. So I gotta get the rest of them out to you so you can get them out.
Yeah, but yeah. So we're going to be having fun this Halloween. So because it falls on a Tuesday this year. We won't be out investigating because we have to get up on a school night for work, and things like that. So we will be having some Halloween fun, though. It's not going to go unmarked. Andy will be on call downstairs for the trick-or-treaters, though, because we do get quite a lot of them.
That'd be good.
Yeah, we honestly, we run out of sweets. We buy so many candies the run up to. So we have all the candies there. The trick-or-treaters start coming from around 5 o'clock, and then by 6 they're all gone.
Wow.
It's just crazy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Andy will buy a pumpkin and he'll carve it, and he takes great delight in it. He's such a kid at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing anything special for Halloween?
I don't think so. Not yet. Maybe next year. But I want to find out a few things before I decide to do anything around here because, like I said, as soon as I can, I'm going to be coming that way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Halloween's not as big as it is as here as it is in the States. I can imagine it's a crazy thing over there, is it?
Well, it is. It's a big thing, but lately, in the last couple of years, well, especially since that pandemic, we haven't had very many kids out running around. So I think it's still a little bit less than what it used to be.
Yeah. I said to Andy, you know those everyone bought those rubber gloves at the start of the pandemic, and we got all these rubber gloves, these gloves that nobody knows what to do with. I said, you want to stuff some sweets in the gloves, tie them up, put them in a pot so they have to pick a glove up. I said, you get rid of them then.
There you go.
He said, yeah, and you'll find them thrown all over the street and all over the garden afterwards where the kids have opened it to get the sweets out.
And then the government will go, hey, we got all these rubber gloves on the street making a mess. Now you can't do that.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. So, if you've got any rubber gloves, those funny gloves that we all bought that are in boxes, yeah, stuff them with sweets and goodies for the kids, and then give them out when they're trick or treating.
There you go. So one idea.
Yeah, it's better than being egged, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, eggs are expensive these days, so you wouldn't want to waste an egg. I wouldn't anyway, put it that way.
No, everything's so dang expensive here. What, $3 in some sense for a dozen eggs?
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's like the same. It's about the same over here, but to me, it's still a lot. I mean, even our local farmers that produce this produce. Mm-hmm. We have farmers that sell eggs from their where the chickens are. You know, you can just stop off and buy your eggs. They're still expensive.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can even go to the chicken farms directly and buy them from there. They're still expensive.
Wow.
I suppose with their costs and their upkeeps and everything, they're having to sort of pay the prices forward.
Yeah.
I expect. I don't know. Who knows? We'll be eating ants and crickets and locusts. You watch, that will be the everyday norm, rather than going to the local shop for a packet of crisps or chips, as you call them. There'll be a packet of fried locusts or something, barbecue flavour.
I've had chocolate covered grasshopper before, so
nice.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's just the thought of having to eat them, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they're not alive or anything. It's just like eating, something fried. So
yeah. Oh, look at that gorgeous cat! Look.
Mm-hmm. Leave us aliens, little cats. Mm-hmm.
My cats are useless. Both of them. Oh, Terry Two Willies has come in to join us. How you doing, Terry? I hope you're well.
Hey, guys and dolls.
He's such a sweetie, but we won't tell him. We don't want to give him a big head or anything, you know. Him and Christine's lovely, lovely people. I've known of Terry for a few years now, so yeah. But yeah, some busy ghost hunting times coming up from here on in. I know some groups wind it up after October. They start slowing down right for the Christmas period, but it seems to be like with Dan. Well, with Dan's, it's been ill this year, but it ramps up and it doesn't stop, and then it goes into next year, and we carry on doing exactly the same.
Wow!
But I hope you're okay, Terry. I had the lurgy last week, and I still can't taste anything. It's awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, just get better soon, Terry. You know, I know this strain, whatever it is that's going around, it's horrible. It's knocking people off their feet. Honestly, it is nasty. It's not for long. You know, you can get back to normal as soon as you can, but it seems to have long-lasting effects afterwards. Like with me, I'm out of breath. I can't taste anything. My cup of tea tastes awful, but I still want a cup of tea, you know.
Yeah.
Coffee tastes horrible. My dinners taste horrible. Everything's just yuck.
Wow.
You know, but there you go. Well, has anyone got any questions for us?
Sure he does.
Sure he does, huh?
Anybody got any questions?
I don't know, do they?
They're not really talking.
Does.
What's Terry's question?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
Oh, what's
One
the
that's a-
question is what's
little-
allergy? Allergy is germs. It's when you get poorly and you're feeling down, you've caught germs, you've caught a cold or you've caught flu or caught COVID. It's allergy. It's allerg. That's allergy.
Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I got to get used to.
Yeah. The English language is somewhat different from the American language.
Mm.
For example, you will hear people saying to you, "Oh, I'm dying for a fag."
Yeah. I know what that is, though, but.
Yeah, it's not what the Americans call that.
Mhm.
It's a detrimental name to somebody who might be homosexual or you know, like the same sex. It means a cigarette.
Yep.
You say things like trash. We don't have trash. It's rubbish.
Mhm.
Rubbish.
You say, what route are you taking to work today? It's not a route. It's a route.
Mhm.
Root.
It's route, not route.
What's your favorite one? Your favorite one is I call it an advertisement. You call it an advertisement.
Advertisement.
Yeah.
We would call it an advert.
Advert. Okay.
Yeah.
Or more.
Malarkey.
Malarkey. Do you know what malarkey is?
Not really.
Malarkey is like another word for shenanigans.
Yep.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
cheeky.
Yeah, it's okay, dear. Thank you.
We love it. We love it.
Cookies and biscuits.
Yeah, cookies. We don't have cookies. We have biscuits.
No.
I said that at work. My co-workers said, "Sorry, love, you're not having me. Love, you're not having me."
I don't know what that means.
No, I said that at work. My co-worker said, "Sorry, love, you're not having me." I'm going out for a fag. That's what she meant. Yeah. Cookies and biscuits. Why is petrol in America called gas when it's a liquid?
I don't know. You just call it gas.
Yeah, but it's not a gas though, is it?
No.
You gotta make sure it's not coming out of your butt.
It's all ecky thump. I'll go to bottom of stairs. Stairs, he means.
Mm.
Yeah. But it is funny, some of the differences. I went over to America and the first time I was there, William had to keep saying, "Viv, you can't say that. Viv, you can't say that." I went, "Why not?" Because it doesn't mean that over here. And then over in America, you don't have road rage like we have road rage over here. We'd be, doing hand gestures and shouting out the window and
Give us
beep, 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 beep. But over there, you can't do that because people carry guns.
Yep. They'll get out and shoot you. No problem whatsoever.
Oh, fanny bag or fanny pack.
Oh, fanny bag? Yeah. Fanny pack was what we call it.
But we call it a bum bag.
A bum bag.
And if you had a bum bag in America, what would a bum is
No.
like a...
The same thing. We wouldn't know what you're talking about. Our butts, but
or tush.
Oh yes, when you bring Welsh into it, it'd get even worse. Yeah, that's true, Sarah. Oh dear, pants and trousers.
yeah, we call them that.
Pants. No, in England, guess what your pants are?
What?
Underwears.
Oh, really?
So your pants, when you talk about your pants, you talk like pulling your knickers up. But you call pants trousers. If somebody was to say, "Pull your pants up," I'm like, "How are you seeing my pants?"
Yeah, I know. That's
Bastard, you know. think that's funny.
Everybody tells me to stop pulling my pants up. I said, stop looking at my butt.
Yeah, stop looking at my knickers.
Mm.
Sneakers.
Yep.
Trainers. We call them trainers.
Oh, really? We call them sneakers.
Yeah, they're just trainers.
Snickers.
Not Snickers, sneakers.
No, I know.
Snickers.
Snickers.
You used to the Snickers bar. We used to call marathons. There was a marathon bar,
Yeah.
and they changed the name to Snickers, which was weird.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we have different funny sayings that and if you go into certain areas like London, if you go into the East End of London, you've got rhyming Cockney slang.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go up north, then they got different words for different things, like Yorkshire and Scotland, even Wales have got different things. Oh, hood,
Trunk, fender.
bonnet, trunk, boot,
Fender.
fender is a wing. Yeah, exactly. My mum and dad came from Birkenhead and great grandparents from Wales. I ended up in Yorkshire. You're right mixed up then, you are.
We were accusing I don't know his last name, but his first name is Russ on the Gurley show, and he didn't know what a Wienermobile was.
A Wienermobile?
Yeah, Wienermobile.
What's a Wienermobile?
Dog mobile that somebody drives around here in America.
What, that sells sausages?
Yep, that sells sausages. Well, we call them wieners here, so.
Wienermobile.
Why are they called wieners?
I had no idea.
My baloney has a name. Is
Yeah, okay.
Nicola, you take care, my darling.
Nicola.
Yeah, you get yourself rested up. Get a good night's sleep. And thank you for watching. We appreciate you, Nicola. Oh, bless her. Good cup of tea. Good cup of cha. I remember a friend from Ireland going to the ice cream van and asking for a poke. He said, all right, love, wait till the end and I'll let you in the van after the queue is gone. And over there, it's a 99 ice cream, you know, like a cone with a snow cone with the chocolate flake in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she means by that. But yeah, it's funny. I remember going to the ice cream van and asking for a witch's hat.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know what a witch's hat is? So you have an ice cream cone and an ice lolly, and he just sticks the lolly in the ice cream, turns it upside down, and there's your witch's hat.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear. Your water is harder in England. Where I am, actually, the water's not too bad. But in London, the water is really hard.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of
iron in it.
additives in it. They add fluoride to the water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they do that in the States, do they? They put fluoride in the water.
No, they do that here too.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another way of control. If the governments wanted to poison you, they could.
Don't want to drink water in Kakana.
Yeah, it's the hardest water in the world. We got iron in our water.
It stinks too.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
More calcium in it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if any questions, I think we can wrap up tonight. This Sunday, there is not going to be, it's our Sunday on for the spiritual hour, but we're not going to do it because I've gone and done something stupid, like booked a holiday. So I'm going to be away this weekend in Whitby. So the lovely place of Whitby, where Dracula was said to have landed on the shores of England in Whitby. that's what we're doing. So we're following on with the vampire theme. Right, a few months ago I was in Transylvania, in Romania, and so we're carrying on that theme, the Dracula theme, with Whitby this weekend. So hopefully I'll get to see Bram Stoker's grave somewhere. I believe he's in Whitby. I will, Cliff. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been getting suggestions of where to go in Whitby and what to go and do and see. So there's a Dracula museum, and then there's an abbey, and there's some other bits and pieces up there. So we will see. No doubt I will go live at some point. I will be meeting up with Mark Manley. As I said, Boris will be coming on tour.
Mhm.
And we'll be putting Boris through his paces. And I did promise Eric that I will film some footage for you
That'd be great.
that you can use in advertising. So Boris will be coming out to a lot of places with me over the next few months. Wherever I go, not only will I be taking my Willie's still there. I will be taking Boris with me too. What was did you see the program American Werewolf on Sky History? Good document. Well, no, because I have been researching, watching and listening and looking at the Dogman sightings in Yorkshire. And there have been so many of them, and some of them really, really, really frightening. But no, I haven't seen the one on Sky, but I'll have a look at it because I'll be able to watch it on catch up, won't I? So I will have a look. But yeah, the Dogman sightings that are happening over in the UK right now, this year, is absolutely amazing. And on one of the sightings, they're confusing it with Dogman, but when you listen to this gamekeeper and he talks about what he saw, he's describing Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So I was blown away with what I found out and what I saw and the actual eyewitness accounts, and crazy. And these are credible people that are not interested in the field in any way, shape, or form. They've got nothing to lose, they're nothing to gain. But yeah, what's going on in Yorkshire right now, I don't understand. But that's another thing. That's another show, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, so we will be back on Tuesday night. I don't know if Dan will be joining us. We will have to wait and see. But we are discussing the Fae. What is it? Should we be worried about it? Where can we see it? Who knows? But yeah, the Fae is going to be our topic, our subject on Tuesday night on the Things Network, where we'll be discussing that. And next Wednesday, we haven't got a guest on next Wednesday, but you never know, because certain people just pop up from time to time. So you'll never know who will be on next Wednesday. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. We're still sort of getting over colds and flus and things like that. So yeah, Cliff is just saying, I've got to show these things in the chat. It seems Dogman and Bigfoot are linked. Do you think they're linked? Is Dogman's Bigfoot pet?
No, I don't think that, but I think they can be linked. In fact, I've heard somebody talk about Bigfoot and a Dogman in the same cave as the Bigfoot's kids. So,
wow. Dogman is probably the family up the road from me on holiday. Oh, I love that. Something in the water in Yorkshire. Maybe. Yes, we've had sightings of tall figures about 7 foot high. Yeah. There's been kids. One of the things that I saw and heard about was kids that go off and do this sort of like hide and seek type thing, but they go all over the village and hide, and it's an all-day thing for them. Anyway, this one particular kid ran off and just went on this side area where it was a little bit wooded, and just ducked down behind a big, massive, like, I would call it a boulder, but it's not. To you, it'd be a stone. And there was bushes around him. He was just hiding there and just chilling. And he heard rustling and footsteps, and he thought he'd been found. But when he actually turned around and looked, he was literally nose to nose with a dog man.
Wow.
Basically, he had the whole face, the snout, the teeth, everything. He felt the breath. He said he was absolutely petrified. He didn't know what it was. He thought it was somebody's dog at first. So he ran away. And as he looked back, this thing stood up.
Imagine.
Blimey. Didn't chase him or anything, but the thing stood up. But yeah.
Wow.
Just crazy. I would have hated to have been in that. I would have pissed my pants. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And run home screaming and crying. There you go. Yes. So we're pissy pant time for me. If Jay was with me, he would be screaming. But for me, it would be pissy pant time. Yeah. And crying.
You'd be crying too.
Right, so we will be back next Tuesday. Don't miss us, will you? But whatever you're doing this week, if you're out ghost hunting, stay safe, stay warm. Oh, it's going to be a heat wave here apparently over the weekend at 26 degrees Celsius.
In October, it's still 78 degrees here.
Wow. So if you are out and about, sun cream, enjoy yourself, just stay safe. Don't catch this COVID that's going around, and have fun. And above all, everyone, just be nice to each other. You know, and if you can't laugh at yourself, certainly don't laugh at other people.
No, you can laugh at other people. It depends on what you're laughing at, though.
Well, just take care and just, be sensible, everyone. It's a horrible world out there. It's crazy. And if you are ghost hunting, please look after yourself. That's all I can say. So we'll see you next week. Last words of you, Eric?
No, that's it. Have a good night.